Hello everyone, welcome back to Nukeshot Media and the Capital GT Championship for round 5 here at Watkins Glen International, the short course being used today for the Go Bowling 100. I am of course your commentator Zokio, and it should be a very exciting race for us indeed ahead. 100 miles as indicated. That'll be 41 laps of this shorter circuit. Should be some good opportunities for slipstream, very high speed, cutting out the boot section of the circuit of course. A little bit of time to go before the start of practice. Doing a quick audio check. Everything seems to be running a-okay. That helps. Back this week, of course, we had a week off last time, and the race before that, I believe, was Trial Mountain, which was definitely eventful. We're hoping for a few less safety cars this time around, but with this circuit's prominence on the NASCAR schedule, remains to be seen as to the level of onion barges that we see today. Not overly many cars in the lobby as of yet, but we do still have 10 minutes to go before the start of qualifying, so some probably on their way still. We have series organizer in the number 27, that's Rounded Potato, otherwise known as Taters. Driving for his own team, of course, Team Taters. He's been having a decent season so far. Same could be said for TSR Sakura. In that Lexus, they've been very impressive on their recent debut, so we'll see how they go. They're currently fastest in the practice times. There you see a 107.563. Relatively short lap, of course, with it being the shorter circuit. What I believe is a debut this time for the Pineapple Head. They're currently hiding behind the cameraman's tower, so can't really see them that well. Here they are, car number 12. I believe this is going by the roof decal, Project 1 entry. Wheeler's tuning by Project 1. So we'll see how they go today. It could just be someone else that's renamed themselves for all I know, but I don't think we've seen that username before. Who else do we have? We have Dashi making their return as a reserve driver for the Nukeshot team. Number 47 in that Nissan GTR. Hoping they'll have a good race today. We have safety car driver Myth doing some drifting, going through the outer loop, and continuing to pick up time penalties as he does so. That's not ideal. Championship leader, if I'm not mistaken, Joe of the Fire, he's there as well. He's currently sitting in the pits like a lemon, with his lemon gloves and a few lemon buttons on his not-so-lemon steering wheel. Who's that just went out? I think that's Dominic Kubinski, fan favourite. They're on their way out. We've got turn 1, of course, and the number 72 car, that newer shaped Mercedes. And that's pretty much everyone that's here at the moment. Not too sure where everyone else is. Now we should have Swablu on his way in one of the other Nukeshot cars, but currently not. Y-Bear, the regular in the series, he's not able to show up. I know that much because he told me. So will be a bit of a smaller grid then, it seems, compared to previous races, but that reduces the chance of a safety car, in theory. So this could work out to our favour. We should see some good racing. Always look on the bright side. I'll not sing it, for copyright's sake. Actually getting some slipstream from Dominic Kubinski as they go up the hill. Dominic with a 0.5 second penalty, of course. Got to watch out for the track limits around here, especially in sections like this with the inner loop bus stop chicane. Using a lot of the curbs there and very slidey as well. And they can't do anything in terms of modifying the setup in this series, so can't really have an effect to make it more stable through there. You're just gonna deal with how the car is. So the top two in the practice session so far separated by less than a tenth. That is a very good sign. TSR Sakura, previously the distinct Marco, I believe. So I'll switch teams and new username. They're currently top of the timing sheets from Dominic Kubinski. Then the Pineapple Head, who's currently sat in the pits. Top four currently within 0.5 of a second based on this, as there's some chaos going off at turn 1 as Dashi is doing some reverse driving. Don't recall that being part of the training program we have. Actually, I don't recall us having a training program. Moving on. Hello to Myth in the chat. Safety car driver, of course. We've currently got 4 viewers, so thanks for everyone who's tuning in at the moment. We're 5 minutes away from the start of qualifying. Qualifying being a 10-minute session, of course. You get 1 point for pole position. I'm gonna see if I can potentially get up the championship standings here. The documents tend to be little bit dodgy at times. It doesn't help that the points and the drivers are on completely opposite ends of the spreadsheet. Joe of the Fire is indeed the championship leader. They have a 25-point advantage over Sakura, and Taters is in 3rd. Widow 4th. Widow's not here. Swablu, who should be on their way, as I say, but hasn't responded, so perhaps they're not. They're in 5th anyway. Drixie, who is Dominic Kubinski in actuality, I believe. They're in 6th. And so on down the order. Well, if you're looking forward to the action that we're having today, for the Go Bowling 100, be sure to leave a like and consider subscribing for the remainder of the season. This being race 5 of 10, if I recall. Yep, race 5 of 10. This marks the halfway point in the season. The dead air. Look, there's not much I can say at this moment in time. Dominic Kubinski's gone purple through Sector 1, that's something. But this is just practice. Oh dear. Not much I can do, unfortunately. We're dropping viewers. No! Please, no. This descent into insanity is already taking its toll. A beverage of choice for this video, live stream rather, we've already got to this point because there's nothing else really to say. Coconut water makes its return. Good stuff, liquid hydration. Well, I suppose most liquids are hydration, aren't they? I'm gonna stop that comment right there. Dashi EU currently second of the cars that are running. Car 47. Myth is mything about interesting stuff. 1.5 seconds of penalty there. That is concerning. And there's the tyre wall that separates the boot section of the track from the short course that we're on today. Qualifying scheduled to be starting in 1 minute's time. As mentioned, a 10-minute session, and based on the qualifying times, it's going to be interesting. It's quite close at the top end of the field. And a relatively short lap, of course, punishes mistakes. Gotta watch out for the track limits as well. Dominic Kubinski making his way down the back straight, passing the safety car and into the inner loop bus stop. Nicely done. You see some grass being kicked up, and that Mercedes looks a bit unsettled on that final section of the inner loop. There's that final curb, getting a little bit airborne perhaps. Smith being upset that his drift wasn't put on stream. It was a little bit earlier, but perhaps not the bit you was thinking of then. Should be getting underway shortly, unless we're waiting for individuals. I'm gonna put starting soon in the chat. Yep, here we go then. Qualifying is going live. 10 minutes, plenty of opportunity to set laps, of course. I think it's the shortest circuit on the calendar. Here we go. And the cars are off. We've got 6 competitive cars and 1 safety car. They're exiting the circuit. We'll go through a lap on board with someone eventually. Joe of the Fire, as usual, leading them out for qualifying. Oh no, what's happened here? Oh, it was Dash that was doing drifting. Apologies, I misread that. Hi Dash. Technical issues. That's unfortunate. You seem to be driving now, so that's something at least. So, wishing you the best. Hashtag no bias. As qualifying is underway, and we're gonna see the first lap completely on board with Joe of the Fire. Here we go then. A lap of Watkins Glen International's short course. Out final corner and going across the start finish line now to start the lap. Braking very late, but manages to get it stopped nicely for turn 1. Using a lot of the exit curve and now the uphill run through the S's. In dirty air it's a lot more challenging. So in qualifying trim, relatively easy. Just maintaining the momentum. Looking for your next braking marker on the left for the inner loop bus stop. That was about the 200-meter marker. Well, yard marker I believe it is on this circuit. And then the outer loop here, plenty of banking. Nicely done by Joe, using a good amount of exit space. 2 corners left. Almost a right angle. Again, nice bit of banking on these. The final corner again, getting as close to the outside wall as you can. It's a 107.457 for Joe of Fire. That's the first lap to be set. TSR Sakura can't go faster than that. They're 2/10 down. They slot into second place. Taters is in fourth. I don't think that's a representative time. They're 2 seconds off the pace. Dashi goes to third, 108.428. The Pineapple Head, 108.808. Many eights. That's 1.3 seconds off the pace of the top guys. As Joe of the Fire has picked up a penalty. That'll be for track limits at that chicane. Let's see if we can catch what happened. I'm guessing it was that first part. A bit harsh. Of course, that's going to compromise this lap as well, because he's got that penalty still on board. But he's set a faster time, but I don't think that's counted, because he's had a penalty. Taters improves to third. That's a 108.202. Starting to ramp up the pace a little bit. Sakura wasn't an improvement that time around. Let's see how they're doing as they get to this sector marker. They're just over half a tenth up on their own best time. Still a bit away from Joe. Different cars though, so perhaps different strengths at different parts of the circuit. The sun has really just come out all of a sudden here at Watkins Glen. That was a bit wide there by Sakura. I think they kept 2 wheels on the curb. Will the game be kind to them? It seems so. Through the final sequence, I don't think it's going to be enough to get to first, but it could be an improvement again for Sakura. Indeed it is. 107.528 and Taters are 107.846. So it's a TSR car from 2 Team Taters machines. Dashi improves with a 108.236. And a couple non-representative times from the Pineapple Head. Dominic Kubinski sat in the pits. I'm a little bit confused by that. Maybe they had a qualifying ban? If someone in chat could check that out, that would be much appreciated. But yeah, they're just sort of sat in the pits at the moment. The top 2 separated by less than 1/10 of a second. And letting other cars go by on this occasion. Looks like Taters could be on for a decent lap here. Making his way through the final corner. And actually no, bails for the pits. We're going for fresh rubber. Just over 4 minutes left in the session. Many cars going into the pits. Joe as well. Dashi improves again, 108.170. They remain 4th at the moment. As the Pineapple Head has a 0.5 second penalty. Their last lap would have been a personal best. And I think would have got them close to around where Dashi was, but that penalty has invalidated that lap. Thanks, Smith. Dominic Kubinski did indeed get a qualifying ban. That's why they're just sat in the pits at the moment. To be fair, with a smaller grid, a qualifying ban isn't as bad of a thing. Of course, you still want to be as high up the order as possible, but it's not as bad as if there was like 14 cars that it was behind, for example. TSR Sakura goes to the top of the timing sheet, so 107.276 for car number 1. They run wide at turn 1, that's almost certainly going to be a penalty for this lap. unless they lift it off. Nope, 1 second penalty. There it is. Joe on an outlap. They're ramping this one up. Got enough time for 2, maybe 3 laps. Could be cutting it close. Fuel weight going down, of course, as well. As Dashi went into the pits, they're now exiting. So fresh tyres for 47. Sakura about to serve that 1 second penalty. Still got a little bit of time. I think they may have missed the opportunity to pit though and get fresher tyres. Like quite a few of the others have done. Unless they stick to the inside. Nope. They're choosing to do this qualifying on 1 set of tyres. Just under 2 minutes to go in the session. Gap at the top of the timing sheets. Just under 0.2 of a second. TSR Sakura has it at this stage. Here comes Joe of the Fire. Will it be an improvement? It's looking close. It is an improvement, but it's not quite enough. It's a 107.380 for Joe of the Fire. The Pineapple Head manages to improve. They go to 4th, 107.866. They've got a very solid lap together at last. Finally unearthing that pace that we saw. They're currently 0.3 ahead of Dashi, who themselves is on a lap. They went for the fresh tyres as well. They're currently 1/10 down as it stands. Sakura making their way through the final corner. Will it be an improvement on their already benchmarked time? Not quite, 0.2 down. Might be getting to the point where the tyres are past their peak performance. But they're on 3/4 of a fuel tank now, so the weight has come down. Should balance it out a bit. Joe of the Fire. Oh, he's picked up a 1.5 second penalty. And that was a lap time that could have got him pole position. I think that's session done for Joe of the Fire. Oh, that is heartbreak there for Joe. Taters as well, 1.5 second penalty. As the Pineapple Head went into the pits. Dashi and Sakura, I think, are the only two on potentially competitive laps. Sakura probably not in danger now. I think they've got pole position sewn up unless Dashi can do something miraculous. Is it going to be an improvement? It is! A 107.271 for TSR Sakura. An impressive time indeed. Dashi going through the final 2 corners. Joe of the Fire just up ahead. Don't think they're quite in the range for Dirty yet. Oh, they've made a mistake. They've hit the outside wall on the final corner. Oh, a costly mistake. It's almost like the Wall of Champions in Canada. That exit wall. Right at the end of the lap. And it's cost Dashi. It is TSR Sakura then that has the pole position and the extra point that goes with it for round 5 of the Capital GT Championship here at Watkins Glen International. If you enjoyed that qualifying session, be sure to leave a like and consider subscribing for the rest of the season. Some reactions in chat. Myth talking about the penalties there. Yeah, that was very savage. Dashi wondering how he went slower on newer tyres. That's a very, very sad time. Knew I should have painted the tyres green. Interesting front row then. Sakura and Joe. Both at the top of their game. 1/10 separating them. Will Joe be able to get a jump going into the first corner? We'll have to see. We're going into a bit of a break period now. I'm going to quickly check Discord to see if anyone else might be on their way. Yeah, it seems the moderators have also been atting people on Discord. So here are the results from qualifying. It was TSR Sakura with a 107.271, taking pole position, just over a tenth ahead of Joe of the Fire. And it's a Nissan 2-3 with Taters in third place, a little bit further back. The Pineapple Head managed to take fourth place in the end, and Dashi fifth. Dominic Kubinski will be starting in sixth, and that's going to be another unknown, is Dominic's pace. We know they're one of the front runners. They've got a couple cars to make their way through, but we'll see how they do with that. Some more chat going off on Discord. Left side is going to be the side where the pole sitter starts, okay. Left side, oh okay. That's going to be the outside for turn 1. Interesting choice. Normally people tend to go for the inside. Okay. We'll see if Joe can benefit from that. Some more atting going off. Oh dear. I'm in the Capital Team Discord chat because I helped them out with some setup stuff a while ago, and there seems to have been a bit of a miscommunication there. I don't think he was trying to go for the left-hand side. I think he's corrected it now. I sort of wish I didn't say that on stream, see if anyone would have noticed. Okay, so it's the right-hand side for the pole sitter. This is probably why it should be just set automatically, like predetermined, rather than having the driver choose. Because this peasantry can happen. Oh, some insider info here, leaking the DMs. From Taters, he says you can both pass Joe into turn 1 if you're on the inside. And then Joe's responded, how about no, because he's also in this chat for whatever reason. Myth has decided to at me for some reason. Myth, why have you atted me? Go away. Oh, no reason, he's just annoying. Okay. Fair enough. Oh, wait, I'm switching Discord off now. You've ruined it. Odds are going to be on the right. That is what's happening now. Actual peasantry. Good stuff. Once again, beverage of choice here in the Nuke Shop Broadcast Centre. Coconut water this week. The OG Thirst Quencher from way back in the day. That's even before the Nuke Shot Endurance series started. Let's have a quick check on the race day procedure. We're about 2 minutes away for the start of the race, schedule at least, I'm just reading in the chat, 10-minute wait for Emilius so you can exit qualifying. Okay, so we're gonna have a bit of a extended break period, it seems, as Emilius is on his way. Now, will Emilius start ahead of Dominic Kubinski, given Dominic had a qualifying ban, but Emilius wasn't here at all? That will be an interesting question to pose to the stewards and the organisers. Someone pass that on, please. Oh no, why has someone posted a cursed Road Atlanta? Why would you do that? We're not even at Road Atlanta. I'm reacting to that with a melon emoji. Okay, we're back into a sort of practice session for the time being, thanks to the Pineapple Head who's on circuit. Never mind, he's reset to the pits. Myth is saying that he's fat. I cannot dispute that. In fact, I would agree. Obtuse. A scalene triangle. None of his angles are the same, apparently. I don't know whether that means he's calling you deformed or... I'm gonna stop there. that's not good. Oh dear. Dominic Kubinski, here they are. They're making their way around the circuit. Heading towards turn 1. I'm gonna pass the message on in Discord about whether Dominic starts ahead of Emilius. Okay, that's been sent. Hopefully that's the right server. It is. Oh, some sliding action from Mythical Triangle. Apologies again for the dead air, I'm sort of just messaging on Discord again, trying to understand what's going on with the team, with the series, with many things. Thanks again, Myth, for providing some entertainment for the viewers. Okay, we're hearing from the series organisers. Emilius will indeed start in front of Dominic Kubinski. I'm not sure whether Dominic Kubinski's immense fan club will be a fan of that, but I can understand it. Gonna do a quick reset of the live stream. There we go. Okay. So, in theory, we should be getting underway at the o'clock. Or just as soon as Emilius gets here and settled in. More Slide McGee action going off. And some more sparks being thrown up as well, off the wall. That's not ideal. The repair crew will be having to inspect that. Oh, Dash is doing some sideways action as well and taps the wall. And is now parked up on the pit entry. That's going to be a 5-place grid penalty. Just kidding, it's nothing. This isn't Formula 1. If that wasn't obvious enough by several factors, one being the closed wheel cars, the other being it's a video game, the third being Formula 1 would probably never hire me to do anything or anything. Oh well. There's some peasantry going off outside. Apologies for any background noise. Dominic Kubinski. That's a 107.673 that they've set in practice. Car number 72. Of course, it's their teammate that we're actually waiting for, Emilius, the head of the Turn 1 organisation. I forget what car Emilius is in, actually. I've got it in my notes somewhere. McLaren 650S. Unless he's changed it since I took that screenshot. Let's go over the point system again. So we've had 1 point for pole position, that has gone to TSR Sakura, who is sat in the pits currently. Fastest lap in the race will also get you 1 point. For first place it's 18 points, second place is 15 points, third place gets you 12, fourth will get you 8, fifth will get you 6, sixth will get you 5 points, seventh will get you 4 points, 8th place will get you 3 points, 9th place will get you 2 points, and 10th place will get you 1 point. So this relatively low attendance round has actually got quite a lot of points on offer for everyone here. It's a good opportunity for some of those a bit further down the championship standings to make some inroads on their competitors. As Dominic Kubinski continues to get faster and faster as the fuel load burns off. I still don't think Emilius is here. Oh, he's only just booting up his console. But that was, that's literally this minute. Okay, that's concerning. Oh, Myth's not a fan of the decision, but, So he's clearly part of the Kubinski fan club. And then Taylor's saying nobody asked him. That is rather amusing. Oh well. Still getting faster and faster. 107.390 for Dominic Kubinski. I'm going to go back in the live stream and see what was the poll time again. It was a 107.271. Okay. So Dominic is about 2.5 tenths off of poll time with that. Let's have another look at Mythical Triangle doing some sliding around at turn 1, going off into the runoff area. Those tyres are looking very worn out. 11:99 AM. How does that work? Oh dear. Not just me that's descending into insanity, it seems. It's the series organizer as well. Here comes the Pineapple Head, making his way through the first section of the circuit. The interesting battle between them and Dashi, I think. It was relatively close in qualifying. Just about keeping away from the track limit penalties for the Pineapple Head, I think. As soon as I say that, he's got a 0.5. That is concerning. Well, I suppose the more laps you do in practice, the more of a gauge you'll have for where the limits are. So there's that. I find it bizarre how there's been so many penalties. I don't recall it being this bad. Oh, there's been a disconnect. Just then, the Pineapple Head has disconnected. That was odd. I can't use the replay function because we're in practice mode, but there goes the Pineapple Head. Hopefully they can rejoin. His game's crashed apparently, according to Dominic. We might be waiting a little bit longer for them to rejoin if that's the case. Good stuff again. This live stream brought to you by Coconut Water, the ultimate thirst quencher. Some of the lobby settings, we're getting desperate now. The tyre wear is set to 1 times, the fuel consumption 2 times, refuel rate 9 litres per second. Shortcut penalties are set to weak, balance performance is on, of course. Mechanical damage is set to off, but that's more just a precautionary thing. Mentions here in the notes, do not send others into the Shadow Realm. Do not is in capitals. Dashi's car seems to have caught fire. That's not good. Okay. Oh, Emilius is here. There they are. Hiding again. Car 73 of turn 1. Teammates, of course, to Dominic Kubinski. One of the founding members of the Sim Racing Federation as well. Oh! Oh no! What's happened here? Is this me disconnecting or has the entire lobby just gone down? That's concerning. Was that just me? What died? Oh, apparently Joe's game died then. This is, not good. So welcome to behind the scenes here on Nookshot Media. This is the lobby select screen. Rooms with friends. I do have some friends. Has this just been started up again, I'm guessing? Or is that the same one that everyone disconnected from? This seems to be okay. Yes, this seems to be working. Phew. It was a relatively quick turnaround after that technical issue. Thanks to Joe and the rest of the staff. And have we got more people than we had before? Or maybe just because it's showing my name as well, it's sort of throwing me off. Since I'm just commentator. Common potato. So yeah, apologies for that. That reset, of course, will have changed some of the weather conditions. Wind speed now 2 meters a second. It's going sort of northeast-east, if I've got my terminology correct. Emilius out on circuit. They might be doing a little bit of a practice run, as they can do. They'll be starting ahead of Dominic Kubinski, as mentioned earlier, much to the ire of Dominic's fan club. Sakura has decided to ping themselves in the Discord. That's an interesting choice. Oh, what is going... This is... If you remember 2 weeks ago at Trial Mountain, that was chaos on the circuit. This seems to be a bit of chaos off the circuit, unfortunately. Not the organisers doing, of course, but just unfortunate that there's been some technical issues. Thanks again to everyone that's working hard behind the scenes to get this all to run as smooth as it can, even if it isn't particularly smooth. If you don't have the quali order, you can go to the live stream. Just responding to the lobby chat there. Emilius has picked up a 0.5 second penalty. They won't have that long in order to learn the track limits around here, so that could be something to watch out for early on, is Emilius getting some track limit penalties. That McLaren, mid-engine of course, seemingly staying away from the curbs compared to some of the other cars that had all four wheels on them. I wouldn't be surprised if that's very upsetting to the balance of that McLaren. Some front engine cars might be able to go through there a bit more stable. Myth would claim that I'm just rambling at this point, but that's sort of what commentary is. As long as it's relevant rambling. Or somewhat relevant rambling anyway. Everyone's in the pit lane. Okay, procedures. I've got to get these up again. Formation lap. What speed? 80 miles an hour. 2 car length gaps. This is the race directing part that I have to do. It's concerning, again, that I'm given this much responsibility, but we move, I suppose. They're moving anyway. I'm just sat here. Making their way towards the inner loop. Full stop. Whatever you'd call it. Officially it's known as the inner loop because it's located on the inside of the circuit. This being the outer loop, it's on the outside of the circuit. Makes sense? Hopefully it does. Okay, now to get the rest of the markers. Double file odds right. Okay, that should be my job done for that. Everyone's behaving themselves at the moment. We're about to get underway, racing here for the Go Bowling 100, round 5 of the Capital GT Championship. It is green, 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 and the cars are off. Sakura maintains the lead. Joe holds on to second place, and the Pineapple Head manages to jump up into third, so they managed to get ahead of Tater's. Remember, it was Tater's plan to get ahead of Joe at the start, so that's not gone well, and they've got Dashi right behind them as well as they make their way through the uphill S's. Climbing still. Is Dashi looking to make a move going into the first part of the inner loop? No, not quite close enough. To the outer loop they go. Sakura still leads Joe. Starting to stick with them though. Staying close. Everyone's still close at this point. Joe trying to look for the outside as Sakura went a bit defensive. Through the final corner they go, got to avoid that wall on the outside. And they do so. I think Dashi may have slightly clipped it. Across the line they go. It is Sakura from Joe, from Pineapple Head, as I think Dashi and Emilius both running wide. They're probably getting penalties for that one. Will Joe have enough of a slipstream run to get a move done? Sakura defensive to the inside. You can see the overspeed that the Nissan has. Joe having to back out of it. Oh, closing back in again though. Can't be too close because that will take all the downforce off the front end. Cuts it back a little bit. Sakura really right to the edge of the track limits. Through the final couple corners again, Joe continuing to stay within that 0.3 of a second margin. Could be another opportunity for an overtake here. The top two starting to break away a little bit. Joe gets the fastest lap of the race as it stands. Not close enough into turn one, but very close as they're making their way towards the S's. Another decent opportunity then. There it is, on board. Side by side they run. Does Joe have it? Nope, Joe backs out. Going into the inner loop once again. Was a lot more alongside than he was before. Looks to potentially tuck it into the inside. Can't quite get that done. And Pineapple meanwhile has a 1.5 second penalty. They'll be serving that shortly. depending on where the penalty line actually is, it was just there previously. They're sticking with the top two now. Top four have broken away a bit, as I think the rest have got some penalties. Dominic Kubinski and Dashi close together. It seems that Kubinski had a overtake, sort of ran a bit deep, that compromised their line a little bit into that second to last corner, but they've managed to maintain that position. And Joe is already nearly side by side. Sakura defending the middle of the road this time, forcing Joe to the outside. Joe having to back out once again. As Pineapple is coming up to that deceleration line, that will allow Taters to easily go past, and Pineapple's probably going to drop back to the pack behind. There goes Taters. And Taters has done a good job to sort of catch the top two. Dominic Kubinski trying to charge their way up the order as well. Dashi close behind, and Emilius really not been a good start for them. Of course, they had limited practice, they joined quite late. Still getting used to the track limits. Sakura knows all about the track limits and is judging it perfectly on that exit of turn 1. The Team Taters car making their way through the S's and onto the back straight once again. It's again the inside line defense for Sakura. Nicely done. Now Joe's got to keep an eye out for an opportunity, maybe somewhere else along the lap, because that particular move seems quite well covered off. He needs a very, very solid run through that section later on. It could also be that Joe is saving fuel at this point to see if he can jump them on the pit stops. That wouldn't be the first time he's done that. He is burning more fuel than Sakura at the moment. Into turn 1 they go once again. Cloud cover is overtaking the circuit a bit, so temperatures will be down a smidge, as I think that was Pineapple Head going a little bit sideways through turn 1. Yep, just over the exit curve. It sort of falls off a little bit at the very edge. Managed to get the grip back. Dominic Kubinski still in 5th and looking to catch Pineapple Head. Sakura and Joe still 1st and 2nd. It's the Team Taters 2 and 3 as it stands. That Lexus looking strong, but the Nissan able to challenge when in the slipstream. Dominic Kubinski currently has the fastest lap of the race, interestingly enough. That's a 107.521. Sakura again right on the edge of the track limit. 2 wheels on the curb. Perfectly legal. Just very close. And again, here comes the slipstream run for Joe of the Fire. He goes side by side once again. Has to back out of it once again. Pardon me. Through the outer loop they went, and towards the final section. It's been a very clean race so far. This relatively low car count will have affected that. Oh, that's interesting. Sakura might be getting a little bit of a penalty there. Yep, 0.5. That was the mistake that Joe was trying to pressure them into, and Joe's in fact going side by side. Looks like they have the inside for turn 1. Sakura's looking to challenge around the outside to hold on to it. Can't quite. And Joe of the Fire goes up into the lead of the race. Sakura could be dropping back behind Taters with that 0.5 second penalty. Let's see if we can catch this one again. Here it was. Side by side they ran. Going into turn 1. Sakura did their best to try and hold on to it on the outside. Possible with the banking. But Joe making their way through. And here comes that penalty line for Sakura. It's been served, and there goes Taters. I think Sakura's going to stay just ahead. They're perhaps in a voice chat as well, so communicating strategy. The Pineapple Head has been closed in on, meanwhile, by Dominic Kubinski. So the fan favourite up into 5th place, making their way closer and closer to the podium places. 4th place next. Equal machinery though, as Nico Rosberg once said. Making their way through the S's. Will have some slipstream benefit, but I don't think he'll be close enough this time around for Dominic to challenge. Nope, indeed not. Still just closing in, 10th by 10th. Pineapple Head doing a good job still though. 107.9 last time around for them. 108.0 for Dominic. So perhaps as soon as Dominic hit the dirty air of the fellow Mercedes, he sort of hit a bit of a roadblock. I say that as he's managed to gain a little bit through that second to last corner, and is right on the gearbox of that Mercedes. Don't think it'll be enough for the inside into turn 1. As a very solid opportunity to get something done on the uphill though. Here we go on board with Dominic Kubinski. Oh, they're catching them at just the wrong time, are they? Midway through the S's, so you're having to compromise your run. And now he's not going to have enough of an overspeed. Bit of bump drafting. That's interesting. I don't know whether that's deliberate. That's just letting Pineapple Head know they're there. And a little bit of mind games going off. As, oh, that might have been Pineapple Head drifting a bit wide in order to get Kubinski to go out of track limits. As, oh, what's happened here? Taters has made a mistake, have they? Was that a track limit penalty for Taters? 1.5 seconds they had at some point. So that's why they've dropped back out of this battle. And now it's a three-way battle for the final podium place. Still plenty of the race to go, of course. Still the strategy to play out with the pit stops. One is mandatory. Can't do a no-stop. And this is going to be annoying for Dominic because Pineapple Head's going to have the slipstream from the Nissan. As Pineapple looks to the outside, going through the inner loop, that could be costly. They managed to maintain 4th place. It looked for a second that, oh wait, they're on the inside again. Taters not quite tucked into the banking. They just managed to hold on to that, but Pineapple Head looking close again. Taters moving to the racing line again. Pineapple Head to the inside. Seemed, oh, there's a bit of smoke. Some onion barges have occurred. Pineapple Head moves up into 3rd place, and Dominic Kubinski sneaks by as well. Here it was again. Pineapple Head looking to the inside. There may have been a slight touch. I think the smoke was there from when Kubinski ran into the back of Taters on the corner exit. I don't think that was to do with Pineapple Head. So Taters from 3rd to 5th in the space of 2 corners. But Pineapple Head has a 0.5 second penalty. They're at the head of this particular group, so they have a decent chance of sticking with the group, but they're probably going to drop behind at least one of the cars. Let's see where they filter out. Kubinski's probably going to go by here, yet with ease. But I think they managed to stay ahead of Taters, yep. So Pineapple Head slots into 4th place. Dominic Kubinski back to the podium. Meanwhile, at the front of the field, the fastest lap of the race held by Joe of the Fire. That was set on lap 11. They've got a 1.4 second gap over TSR Sakura for Team Taters. Is that gap going to be closing in? Last lap was a 107.6 for Joe, a 107.7 for Sakura. The battle continues as they make their way through the S's for 3rd place. Pineapple Head has another 0.5 second penalty. This could be costly. They could drop out of slipstream range here. Taters looking for the opportunity. A little bit of impatience perhaps. It's a bit of contact, but Taters has just about managed to make that stick. Could have just waited for Pineapple Head to serve the penalty to make that one. But Taters goes through. Here's an onboard from Taters' car. Had a decent run to be fair, and Pineapple Head not doing what Sakura's been doing and defending the inside. Oh, a little bit of contact, that upset the Mercedes. We'll see how that one develops. The lead gap, 1.3 seconds. Sakura was around 0.2 faster on that last lap. Will they be able to close in when they get into the dirty air range, though? Will be the question. We saw that Joe was able to stick with Sakura, but will the roles be reversible in that sense? Dominic Kubinski, meanwhile, 1.3. And going up is that gap between them and 4th place Taters. The sun's just come out now, so the cloud levels have gone down. Taters 4th, 5th place with Pineapple. Dashi's in 6th place. May have had a bit of a mistake or a penalty to serve on lap 12, but they are making their way round. Holding on to 6th place at the moment, and then Amelia's down in 7th place. I think they've been struck with a lot of penalties from not being here for the practice session, not having a gauge on where the limits are. Nevertheless, 7th place, that is still solid points for the Turn 1 team, just to see if he makes it home at that point. Joe, a little bit of a tap of the brakes mid-corner there. Just controlling the speed by minute details. As I mentioned, the sun's come out a bit, so the track temp will be going up. Wind speed's dropped a little bit. It's blowing easterly, so it's not really a benefit or a hindrance on any of the straights. It's a crosswind, essentially. That gap seems to have stabilised at around 1.3 seconds for the top two. A little bit better tyre wear for Sakura, and better on fuel as well. So perhaps when it comes to the pit stops, they'll be able to close in a bit more. 1.4 seconds, it's just gone up a little bit. Both of them set 107.4s on that last lap. Taters still holding on into 4th. Pineapple close to getting into significant slipstream range, but not quite. They close in a bit through there. I think the Mercedes is stronger then through that inner loop compared to the Nissan. Of course, the Nissan, quite a large car, might have a slightly higher centre of gravity compared to the Mercedes. Dashi with a 0.5 second penalty again. I don't think Dashi's going to be necessarily challenging the top 5 if things keep up as this. Might have to rely on penalties from other drivers. But as long as they stay consistent themselves, that will allow them to benefit from the mistakes of others. Yeah, Myth saying in chat that was unnecessarily risky. I think that may have been referring to the Taylor's pass earlier. Yeah, I sort of agree with that. It'll be interesting to see if the stewards have anything to say on that, if it's even reported. Pineapple Head has a 1-second penalty. This is the kind of situation that Dashi could benefit from if they manage to keep their nose clean. Keep it on the road and gradually make up time from others serving penalties. This is going to put pain to Pineapple Head's challenge of 4th place. They're going to drop out of slipstream range entirely, bar a mistake from Taters. The lead gap's come down a little bit. Joe of the Fire now with a 1.1 second lead over TSR Sakura, who took out 0.3 of a second on that last lap alone. Is the Lexus now getting into more of a sweet spot? Oh no! Curse of the commentator. A 1.5 second penalty for TSR Sakura. That's going to give Joe a very nice cushion. Won't be served this time around. It was too close to the penalty serving line. And oh, there you see Dominic Kubinski going wide in the background. Is that a penalty for them? Yep, it is. Taters seem to be okay. Pineapple Head was serving theirs. 1.8 seconds back now. And Dashi has got that gap down to 7.6 seconds. Tyres are definitely going off. We're approaching the halfway distance in this race. If you're enjoying it, be sure to leave a like and consider subscribing for the rest of the season. This is the Go Bowling 100 at Watkins Glen's short course. Round 5 of the Capital GT Championship. Let's check in on Emilius. So 109.8 last time around for them. They're doing quite well for tyre wear. Just seems to be lacking a little bit of pace. Oh, they just clipped the grass on the exit of the S's. That's perhaps just a lapse of concentration there. Easily done when you sort of by yourself on circuit. He's doing a good job though to bring that car back for points. Sakura, bit of a early-ish stop maybe? They seem to be okay. It is half a distance, so yep, that makes sense. This is the standard strategy option. So both Team Taters cars went into the pits. Sakura followed by Taters. Sakura exits. They rejoin in 5th place. And Taters has a 1.5 second penalty. That must have been before they came into the pits. They drop in behind Emilius, interestingly enough. So they've got a friend to play with for a couple laps or so until Emilius goes into the pits themselves. Joe of the Fire into the pits, responding to the potential undercut. Normally we see Joe pitting exactly at the halfway mark, but he's not done it overly much this season. There's been some like safety cars and things that I've sort of messed around with that though, to be fair. We'll see if that undercuts work though for Sakura. Dominic Kubinski also into the pits, as has Pineapple Head. and Dashi as well. Where is Sakura on circuit? There they are. Where's Joe? Joe is over there. Okay, so he's still got a very solid gap. 3 seconds. It's coming down as Sakura will have the momentum going up the hill from taking turn 1. That gap's going to be at around 2.5 seconds. Slightly under as they make their way to the inner loop. Oh, again, clipping that grass on the inside. It's very bumpy. And the curb as well. It's unsettling the car. Well, that seems to be the fastest way for them to carry momentum through that section. I mean, they're both faster than me, so they clearly know what they're doing more than I do. Emilius finds their way into 3rd place, meanwhile. Still owes us a pit stop. They let Kubinski go by. Will they continue to stay out and maybe give Kubinski a bit of a buffer? No, they go into the pits, and that's interesting. I think if the pit line penalties are on, that would be a penalty, but I don't think they are. There was a bit of a debate about this a while ago, I seem to recall. We'll see if there's a penalty or not. But yep, choosing to pit now. Was sliding a lot through the final corner and was right at the limit. I don't think they could have done much longer. Pit out. And indeed, no penalty. So, pit line penalties are off. It's just regular track limits that are on. That's fair enough. Joe, over to the end of lap 23, starting lap 24. Still with that 2.1 second gap over TSR Sakura's Lexus. And Dominic Kubinski, a 0.5 second penalty for them. It's the track limit Grand Prix here at Watkins Glen's short course. Catching a lot of people out today. Almost everyone. I say that because I don't think Joe has got a penalty yet. I could be mistaken. But I think everyone else might have at some point. So that could drop Kubinski further back into Taylor's range. Won't be all the way there, but if Kubinski keeps making these mistakes, those two will come together again. Pineapple Head's only 1.2 seconds back from Taylor's as well. Penalty being served by Dominic. What does that gap come down to by the end of this straight? 1.9 seconds, just gone up to 2 again. Fascinating battle. Might also be a case of who keeps the tyres under them. Oh, interesting. It seems that Taylor's is on lower fuel compared to Dominic Kubinski. By quite a margin. And Pineapple Head's on around the same as Kubinski, so has Taylor's short fueled. That'll be another thing to keep our eyes on, is whether Taylor's has enough fuel to get to the end. He's on half a tank now. Joe with the fire's on more than that, and Sakura's also on the same as Taylor's. Okay, that makes sense because they're the two Team Taylor's cars. It makes sense that they're sort of worked out the same fuel numbers. We'll see how close it gets. Could be running it very close. Of course, lower fuel also means less weight in the car, so it will be slightly faster by comparison. That a little bit wide from Dominic Kubinski. It must have just been the camera angle. They seem to have been fine on that one. Sakura and Joe, 2.6 seconds the gap. It's gone up a little bit. 107.6 last time for Sakura. 107.1 for Joe last time around. That was the new fastest lap of the race. 107.135. They're coming up to set another lap now. Will it be as impressive? Not quite, but close. I wonder if we're going to see a 106 before the end of this one. I wouldn't put it past these guys. Great work by these drivers. Dominic Kubinski holds on to that final podium position as it stands, and it looks like Taders runs a little bit over the curb and gets unsettled through turn 1. That's allowing Pineapple Head to close up, but Pineapple Head has a 1.5 penalty themselves, so they're going to drop back even if they make an overtake now on Taders, which I don't think they're going to be able to. But they have closed up, but just unfortunate that it's a bit late. Is something wrong there with Taylor's car? Oh! A little bit of side-by-side. What happened there? That was odd. It looked like Taylor's car was going a bit slower for a moment there. Here it is, rear wing cam. It didn't quite get tucked into the inside line, and that allowed Pineapple Head to go through. Now you see, not a car width left, and then a little bit of contact as Taylor's rejoined. Not what we want to see, unfortunately, but it happened. Pineapple Head has dropped back 4.6 seconds. Still 8.5 ahead of Dashi, who is in turn 20.2 ahead of Emilius, who has a 0.5 second penalty at the moment. What are the points for 7th place again? 4 points for Emilius as it stands. And they all add up, of course, so all benefiting the team's championship for turn 1. Especially given they have 2 cars in this race. Quite a lot of the teams only have 1. Such as here, the TSR car of Joe of the Fire. It's all clouded over a bit again. The weather's been changing quite a lot here at Watkins Glen International. So it's clouded over. That will mean the track temperature's gone back down again, as we have actually seen a 106.939 from TSR Sakura, I've just noticed. That was on lap 27. Oh, they run a bit wide through the second to last corner. 0.5 second penalty. That's not going to help their chances. They've still got a decent buffer over Dominic Kubinski though, who, remember, had a qualifying ban, so it started at the very back of the field and they've managed to find their way up into the podium places, so a very solid drive from Dominic Kubinski, fan favourite of course, car number 72 for turn 1. It was a personal best lap last time around, a 107.282. Very solid effort. And now have a gap of around 5 seconds over Taders at Nissan GTR. Again, a very popular car choice in this series. Nicely done through the inner loop. Look, very stable through the inner loop compared to some of the cars Running a little bit wide to the outer loop though. Need to get it really tucked in to use the maximum of that banking. And to keep off the marbles. 3 seconds is their gap over Pineapple Head, who also had a personal best lap last time around. That's a 107.536 for them. Impressive stuff, and they go faster again. What was that? 107.525. So another 100 and 1,000. Are there fireworks going off outside? What on earth? It's not November 5th, is it? I don't know what's going off there in the real world. Apologies for that if it's picking up on the microphone. Emilius 1.1 off their personal best at this stage. That McLaren's perhaps also just not too well suited for this circuit. It's very high speed, and with sections like the inner loop bus stop, you really need something front engine to remain stable through there. I'd imagine the mid-engine McLaren with its weight distribution is a bit of a handful. Let's see how it goes through here. Definitely not taking as much curve through the first 3 parts, but a decent amount through the last. And that was actually quite stable through there as well, so fair enough, that seemed to work quite well for Emilius. 4 seconds, just gone under that now for Joe of the Fire over Sakura. There you see the Lexus in the background, this Nissan GTR of Team Simpact Racing, that is what TSR stands for. Car number 99. One of Joe's alternate numbers. 27 is normal, that of course being taken by series organizer Taters. We've got some messages in chat there, I just saw. Super2S8 cheering on Kubinski and Pineapple Head. So Pineapple Head's also developing a fan club here on the channel. Dominic Kubinski, the definitive fan favourite, of course, though. Third place as it stands. Visually, it looks colder out there. Colder air, of course, will be denser. Therefore, a little bit more performance for the engines, and that will also mean a bit higher downforce, with the air being more weighty. It's fascinating stuff when you get into the details on, you know, aerodynamics and air densities and things like that. Ooh, some close stuff for 4th and 5th, it seems. Taters and Pineapple Head, 2.2 seconds. I think that's possibly the closest gap on circuit we have at the moment, and Taters has just run wide. Could that be a penalty incoming for Taters? It seems not. That might have just been netcode then. That made it appear that he went off the circuit. Hello to Crybaby in chat. No, I'm not insulting you, that is your name. Another member of the Dominic Kubinski fan club. There they are again. Very solid drive. 3rd place as it stands. Sakura, last lap was a 107.184. Compare that to race leader Joe of the Fire. That was a 1... Oh, it's just disappeared. Let's compare these lap times, as Joe's actually caught Emilius. So we'll be getting a little bit of a slipstream benefit. Emilius sort of obeying blue flags, they're just letting Joe go by. It was 107.490 for Joe last time around. And it was a 107.142 this time around for Sakura. So that's around 3/10 that has been gained by Sakura. Might think that the traffic played a little bit of a part in that. A bit of fog setting in as well at the circuit. Hopefully the marshals will still be able to see their posts. Credit to Jack Wilkinson on the cam as well, as always. Legendary cameraman. Dominic Kubinski. There was a little bit of lag there, so smidge of instability. For the most part, we've not seen much lag this race. It seems to have been very stable. So the servers have definitely been gradually improving in terms of their stability. Credit to Polyphony for that. There'll be an update next week, which is bringing 3 new cars, potentially some Suzuka visual updates. Don't know whether it's going to have the new Buzz-in corner, as it's been named, at Turn 2, with the yellow and black paint, but there was an updated Suzuka visuals that was used at the last World Tour event, so we're expecting that to be in the not too distant future. No idea if there's going to be another circuit to go along with that as well. We'll have to see. And who knows when it comes to other changes as well after that. For all we know, we could be getting I don't know, stunt physics or something insane. Taters with a 0.5 second penalty. 1.8 is the gap currently between them and Pineville Head. Taters, I think, might be feeling the pressure a little bit. They're making these mistakes and allowing Pineville Head to benefit and close back up. Look, 1.3 seconds the gap, 1.2. They're going to be in slipstream range sooner or later, and that's when Taters has to really start worrying. Oh, maybe a slight clip of the wall, was that? If not, they got extremely close. Did Pineville Head for Wheelers tuning by Project One, not in the team's traditional yellow and black colour scheme. It's running sort of this bubblegum type design. Probably to do with their title sponsor on the side there, Rogue Energy. Thanks to those that have been tuned in for this race, by the way. It's been, given the car count, I'd say it's been decently entertaining once things got underway. So be sure to leave a like if you have enjoyed. Consider subscribing for the rest of the season, where we should have some more cars. Little bit of lappery going on now. Emilius gets out of the way. Sakura had a little bit of a slipstream advantage. Just seemed to overshoot the corner a bit from that. Emilius will have the slipstream going up the hill, but will not pass them as they're a lap down. Myth is being held against his will. I did not just say that out loud. You heard nothing. Oh dear, we have fun. And I think again, this is going to come down to Joe of the Fire maybe not necessarily having the outright pace, as evidenced by him not having the fastest lap, but it's his consistency again that is probably going to win him this race. He's one of the most consistent drivers on the grid in pretty much any series that he competes. Been a hallmark of his. Been able to beat faster drivers in championships purely on being consistent, and this time consistency in a different way. Consistency in avoiding track limit penalties where others have fell foul to it. Not long to go now for Joe. This lap and 2 more. Still, you never know, that could have been the most largest curse of the commentator of the lot. Your family is definitely not being held hostage, Myth. That is not happening, viewers. trust me. Oh, I mentioned that the lag was sort of not really there earlier. There's a decent chunk of it there for Dominic Kubinski. Headlights are going on now, so the fog has sort of set in. Must be helping with some of the visuals a bit. Let's have a look at the fuel situation. Taters is looking a bit low on fuel. And they've got Pineapple Head right behind them, so we do have a battle in the latter stages of this race. Sakura is looking a bit better on fuel compared to their teammate. And Pineapple Head's actually around the same for fuel as Taters, maybe a slight advantage. In terms of tyre wear, Taters has the advantage. This could be interesting as we get into the final stages. Just one slip up from either of these two could lead to a 0.5 second penalty that costs a potential position or a challenge for fourth. Pineapple Head looking to put on the pressure. 1 1/4 laps to go. The leader has already started the last lap of the race. Pineapple Head with those headlights glaring in the mirrors of Taters. They're in slipstream range. They might have one opportunity going into the inner loop if they're close enough to have a decent slipstream. They're putting everything on the line. A big twitch there from Pineapple Head. They're making their way up the S's. There is Joe of the Fire, having a temporary look at that. Monitor where he is on circuit as we're watching this. Both of these are going to be cutting it very close on fuel. Pineapple Head's not quite going to be close enough. But it is Joe of the Fire taking the win here for round 5 of the Capital GT Championship. The Go Bowling 100 here at Watkins Glen. Sakura has to settle for second. Dominic Kubinski with a 0.5 second penalty, probably taking third place. Emilius crosses the line a lap down in 7th. Here we go then, the last 2 corners. Does Pineapple Head have anything for Taters? One last send going for broke, sliding round the final corner. It's another battle of potential slipstream. Taters takes the slipstream away and manages to hold on to 4th in the end. Under 0.2 of a second at the line between 4th and 5th place. What a great battle to have in the closing stages of that one. Dashi consistency takes them to 6th place in the end. And Emilius, of course, 7th place, but it is Joe of the Fire, king of consistency himself, the witty professor. An awesome performance and another win here in the Capital GT Championship. That's going to extend their championship lead, and that's going to be a tall order for anyone to surmount going into the second half of the season. The safety car is what's triggering this now, I think. I don't think they'll be able to get around the lap in time for that to complete. So we've got 1 minute and 20 seconds left of waiting. Let's go over the gaps. 5.289 seconds was the gap between first and second. 19 seconds further back was third place, Dominic Kubinski. 8 seconds further back was Taters. Pineapple Head in 5th, as we mentioned, under 0.2 of a second between those two. 17 seconds back was Dashi, and Emilius went a lap down. But still get 7th place points, and that could be very crucial in the team's championship. Some of these were really close on fuel as well. Look at that, Taters has practically run out of fuel on the in-lap, as has Pineapple Head. as has Dashi. Well, if you've enjoyed this race, be sure to leave a like and consider subscribing for the rest of the season. It's been a lot more enjoyable than I would have thought, actually, given the low car count. There was some decent battling in there. Interesting strategic choices. Oh, apologies, I just skipped that cutscene. But here are the results then, at the end of it. Joe of the Fire taking the win for Team Simpact Racing. Sakura taking second for Team Taters. Third place goes to Turn 1 and Dominic Kubinski. The other Team Taters car in fourth, ran by Taters himself. Pineapple Head for Wheelers Tuning by Project 1 took 5th place. The Nukeshot Motorsport car of Dashi EU in 6th. And Emilius in the second Turn 1 car taking 2nd place point. And of course the safety car driver Myth. Thanks again for being there for the formation lap and for being on standby in the event of an incident. All very appreciated. Fastest lap in the end then. The only driver to get into the 106s. TSR Sakura, a 106.939. They had the pace today, but what could have been if it wasn't for those track limit penalties? They're going to have to put that one behind them and continue on to the next round of the season. Checking the calendar. Oh, okay. In a week's time, we're not having a week break. So September 30th, mark your calendars, or just subscribe with notifications, as I mentioned earlier. We're going to Mount Panorama Bathurst for the Bathurst 100, 26 laps, another 100 miles. That is going to be an epic duel across the mountain. What a race that was. We hope you've enjoyed it. We're going to end the live stream there. I think I'm going to save the replay. Thanks to everyone who's tuned in for this one. From all of us here at the Nukeshot Media Centre and the Capital GT Championship, I've been Zokio, and we hope to see you in a week's time in Australia. From all of us, it's goodbye.